Asking, what the heck can I do with a pumpkin? Hi guys, it's Meredith at Crooked Peach. So it's pumpkin season. We all know because they're out decorating porches and steps and driveways all across the land. But did you know that this is an extremely healthful and beneficial fruit slash vegetable? It is. And while I'm no expert and I don't have dozens of recipes, I do have a pretty simple way to cook and enjoy pumpkin. It's very tasty, very tasty. Even the kids will like this. Okay, so like me, you may have found yourself asking, and you may currently be asking, what the heck can I do with a pumpkin? And I'm sure there are many, many things that you can do with it that I don't know. I know you can make breads and different sort of desserty kind of, I don't know, cakey things with pumpkin. But you can also do a really simple, very savory dish, and that's what this is going to be. So actually, you might actually ask yourself, well, how the heck do I even do this? Well, again, I'm not an expert, but this pumpkin that I don't even know what it's called. This one, I don't know. It's kind of blue kind of colored. And it's shaped a lot like a Cinderella pumpkin. But again, I don't know what it is called. I bought it at a local farmer's market. I just know that it was fresh. And then when I cut it, it smells very sweet. It smells faintly of cantaloupe, actually. So get yourself a good sharp knife. I wash my pumpkins down really well and then dry them so that I can still get a grip on them. And I just cut them until I can access the interior of them. So with the insides, the guts, you just scrape it out. And it's not an easy thing. It's not going to scrape out super easy. You do have to put some pressure on it. So another thing you could be wondering, which I certainly was for a while, is, well, what if I don't get all the stuff out from the inside? Is it going to make me sick? No, it's not going to make you sick. Not at all. It's a little stringier. If there's a little bit left, after you're done cooking it and cooling it, it's actually very simple to pull those stringy bits off with a fork, but it won't harm you. It's just not the most pleasant thing to have a long stringy thing perhaps get stuck in your teeth while you're eating. So anyways, yeah, you don't need to beat yourself up if you can't get it all out, because it's very difficult to do. Yeah. So anyhow, what I'm going to be doing is scooping the insides of these pieces out, and then we're going to put them in the oven. I'm going to do 350 degrees, and I'm going to start out at about an hour. I'm not going to put anything on it either. You can if you want to, you know, salt, olive oil, avocado oil is a better choice actually for the heats, because then it won't cause it to oxidize and whatnot. Anyhow, so I'm going to start with about an hour, and what I have found it looks like when it's done is the skin itself is much darker. I actually like to get the skin browned because it's starting to caramelize the edges of the pumpkin itself, and it makes it sweeter, and in it you'll get little bits of different texture in with your pumpkin. I find that to be pleasant. You know, you do you. But it's so that the skin typically changes color. It's really dark, and it kind of starts to collapse. Like it looks like it's ready, like baking a sweet potato. It gets that kind of collapsy wrinkliness to it, and at that point, you're pretty safe. If it's not, just leave it in another 15 minutes, and just do that until it looks like it's done. Then you're going to take it out and let it slowly cool down before you scoop the insides out. Now, with that inside, it looks a lot like a mash of potatoes or whatnot. A little salt, a little butter, it brings out the sweetness. It adds a little bit of that, you know, necessary fat that your mouth wants to give you that mouthfeel satisfaction. But it's chock full of vitamins that aren't always easy to come by. And it is also chock full of fiber. No, you don't feel like you're chewing straw. You feel like you're chewing something beautifully smooth and buttery and sweet. Also another, you could actually add cinnamon. That's also good. But it takes it to a desserty flavor. So think about it before you do it on the whole dish of it. So this is a rather small pumpkin. It's not anywhere like the size of a Hubbard squash. Hubbard squashes are huge and they're very difficult to get into. However, the reward is definitely worth it. They could take up to 2 hours to cook. So just, settle in. It's not a slow process, but good real food never is. The reward, so good, so healthy. If you have any questions or any suggestions, I am always open to suggestions because this cooking thing of actual real food is very new to me. But it's an exciting journey. And I am highly encouraging of anyone who is at all interested in feeling better and functioning better, because your food really has everything to do with it. Okay, so I've had this pumpkin in at 350 degrees for 42 minutes. I just want to give you a peek at what it looks like when it's not quite done. So, sorry about that. Wow, steamy oven. So, if you notice, the skin on the pumpkin itself has gotten quite shiny. But I don't really see any browning. It is starting to change. I can see that it's getting softer, but it's just not there yet. So that's where we are at 42 minutes. Okay, so what to do with the pumpkin guts? You can compost them, and you can feed them to your animals. If you happen to have pigs. I'm not sure about goats. I think they'll eat them. And chickens, which is, who's going to get these? The pumpkin seeds are actually a really great natural dewormer. Now, I did also save a number of these seeds for this unknown pumpkin. And I will very likely plant some this year. Not many. I don't really know what's going to grow from that. It might be the same kind of pumpkin, but it's not very likely. It did come from a farm that makes or grows plenty of different pumpkins and squashes. So the likelihood that those haven't been crossed, well, there is no likelihood of that. I'm certain that they've been crossed. I'll probably just keep most of them aside to feed to them tomorrow. But that's really all I can do. If you do know what that weird blue-green Cinderella-shaped pumpkin is, please let me know down below, because it looks like it's going to be super amazing, and I wouldn't mind growing a few of those. Only a few, though. Limited space. You can only do so much. So it's actually been 20 minutes exactly now, and I'm not really highly concerned about it. Big squashes and pumpkins, they don't seem to be that sensitive to time. I mean, unless you're letting it burn and just let it continue to burn, but that's not the case. Trust your nose, too, when you cook. Trust your nose. Woo. Holy mackerel. Oh, yeah. So, I can be sure this is done. I can be sure of that because of the way it was wiggling. And it depends on the shape of the pumpkin that you might be cooking as to whether or not you'll be able to get shake really easily, visibly. But, I mean, yeah, that is absolutely beautiful. If the skin is ready to just separate entirely from the actual pumpkin meat, this is gorgeous. So this is what you're looking for. Let me see if I can get a piece of this turned over. Usually I just let it cool down, but just because I know not everybody's cooked whole pumpkin. There we go. See, now this is the caramelization, which is on the edges, and that I love it because it makes it a different texture. It gives you a little bit of a different chew, a little bit of the caramelized sugary taste just the natural sugars. Like I've added nothing to this. I haven't even added salt to this, and I will only add salt and perhaps a little bit of butter, because really these things are incredibly tasty. It's not something that I knew before. This is really a recent discovery within about the last month or so. But I tell you what, it's easy to cook. There is plenty of it, and I don't mean like too much, but you won't have to worry that you don't have enough veg. It's filling, it's tasty, it's healthy, it's very easy to cook. I mean, the only thing that I would say is that you have to budget yourself some time, really and truly. And I know that, you know, everyone's in a hurry, and that's actually very upsetting that people maybe not have time to do something like this. But, you know, if you could prep it perhaps the night before, store it in the refrigerator. When you get home from work the next day, turn your oven on, pull your pumpkin out, let it come up to room temperature, or as close to it as you can. I mean, it's still going to cook if it's cold, trust me. Throw it in the oven, you know, get the kids started on their homework, or perhaps get yourself settled in and just ready to be present at home. And by the time you get any of your other things ready, you know, like a big old hunk of steak, that's lovely with this, then this will be ready, or just about ready, and then you'll still have some available to store and have for another night, potentially. And we typically have at least 2 nights worth of full-on servings, you know, just from one pumpkin. And there's 3 of us, and 2 of the guys, you know, they're hearty. They have quite large appetites, but we always have enough. And also I mix it with our pets' foods, because it's just really good for their intestinal tract, and ours too. I mean, just it is. So easy, healthy, real food. It does take a little bit of planning, but aren't you worth it? I know I am. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.